Hello, welcome everyone. I'm attorney Rilus Dana from the Dana and Associates law firm, and today we're going to be talking about estate planning for business interest. So this is a topic that comes up quite a bit. So I wanted to go live today and talk about this. So how you should set up your businesses like LLCs, corporations, partnership interest, any business entities, how those should be how that should work together with your estate plan. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Something else new that we've been working on is we have a free last will and testament. So if you go to our website, danalegalhelp.com, right on the home page, you can find a free estate plan. So I created a free last will and testament. It's a fill in the blank will. It's a holographic will is a technical term. Holographic means handwritten. So if you write your last will and testament by hand, that will be valid without witnesses and without a notary. So that's the easiest way to do a will. So we have a free template there for you to do it, and then there's some instructions that comes along with that. Today's topic, though, is estate planning for business interest. So before we get into that, we're going to go over some basics, like always. And here's the contact information for Dana and Associates. That's where I practice law in Arizona and California. So if you have any questions on these topics, you can reach out to us at danalegalhelp.com. All right, first let's go over some basic real property title options. So with a single person, that's pretty easy. They're going to take title in their name. This is our friend Mr. Estate. So he could take title in his name if he's single. Now, if he's married, it can get a little bit more complicated. Is it is it just in one of their name? We got to be clear. If a person's married, we have to be clear if it's their separate property or if they hold the title together as community property. Now, if there's multiple people and you're not married to all the people, you can own real estate either as tenants in common, which is the default, or so with tenants in common, there's no rights of survivorship, meaning that if one person passes away, their share goes to their estate. The other way to own property is with rights of survivorship. Now, rights of survivorship means that if one person passes away, the ownership goes to the other three listed on the title in this example, or just the other owners on title. All right, taking title in the name of a trust. So you can take title to real estate in the name of the trust, and we're going to talk about today. You can also own business entities through trust, and that's what I'm going to recommend. So in Arizona, the name of the deed, so on the deed, when you transfer real estate into a trust, you still have to disclose who the beneficiaries of the trust are. That's an Arizona requirement. So depending on the business entity or the structure, you might not want people to easily find out who the owner of a property or business interest is. So what we do is we can create a special trust and an LLC. So the LLC requirements in Arizona, you have to disclose the name of the members. An owner of an LLC is the member. Member, owner, same thing with LLCs. So the privacy trust, so this is a special trust that works to keep your information off the public record. So the way it works is you create a trust with the stealth name. You don't include your name in the title of the trust. So something just random. And the beneficiary of this trust is your regular revocable trust. So this stealth trust, it just dumps into your revocable trust. The way it works with keep your name off the record, you can create an LLC with your stealth trust, or we call it the privacy trust. You can have the privacy trust be the member of the LLC, and then you need to use someone else's address, like your attorney, or there's LLC companies that will serve as your statutory agent and the registered office. So if you pay someone for those services to use their address, then with the privacy trust, you can keep your name off the public record. That keeps you stealthy. All right, so let's talk about this concept of limited liability. So we're going to contrast that with unlimited liability. So Mr. Estate, in this example here, he owns several houses that he rents out, and someone got hurt in one of his houses. So what assets are at risk if there's a liability in one of the properties? So Mr. Estate can be sued and everything would be at risk because if Mr. Estate is the owner of the house where the injury took place, then the owner is liable. And in this example, he owns all of these things directly in his name. So that's unlimited liability. If you hold rental real estate, it's recommended that you have the LLC or that you create an LLC to own that real estate. What that does is it limits the liability just to this LLC itself. So if the injury took place in this house and owned by this LLC, then only the assets inside of this LLC themselves are at risk. So that's some of the reasonings why you should use business entities if you're in rental real estate or whatever you're doing. It's a good idea to limit the liability to the assets of the business and not and protect your other assets. Okay, so here's how you should set up your business interest. This is the structure I've been creating for a lot of my real estate investor clients lately, where they do have rental properties or they're planning on purchasing more rental properties, where they want to keep their name off the record. So big picture in estate planning, we want everything in the trust. We want everything to avoid probate. So we want things to be able to transfer after you're gone. So they need to be owned by your trust. So if you have a house that even if you're renting it out in an LLC, that LLC should be owned by your revocable trust. And so should the bank account in that LLC. So the bank account is owned by the LLC, and the house is owned by the LLC, and then the LLC is owned by the trust. So it's like a 2-for-1. So the LLC provides a limited liability protection, protects your other assets, and by making the owner of the LLC or the member of the LLC your revocable trust, that avoids probate. So if you have a corporation or an interest in a corporation or partnership interest, all of those things should be owned by your trust. So make the trust the member, or in corporation, it's the stockholders who are the owners of corporation. If you own notes, so if you sell a house and you become the bank and you retain a note where you're receiving payments, that note should be owned by your trust. Now, if you're renting real estate and you want to keep your name off the record, you can have it in your privacy trust, and then the privacy trust dumps into the revocable trust. So it's, in a way, it's still part of the revocable trust, but it can keep your name off the record. Again, notes, maybe you don't want your name recorded on the public record, so you could have the notes owned by your privacy trust. Now, if you already have a trust and your privacy trust set up, you're gonna have to get your assets inside of there. So the way that you change your LLC, the way that you get it inside of your trust, you can do either an amendment or an assignment. So an amendment would be you amend the LLC instead of having yourself individually be the owner or the member, your trust becomes the member of your LLC. So that's how you get it inside of your trust. So estate planning for business interest, we want everything inside of the trust. If you want to keep your name anonymous, then maybe you want a privacy trust as well. And then you may have a specific business structure depending on your type of business and depending on your tax bracket and all those factors. You could have several LLCs or corporations or series LLCs. Lots of good stuff, lots of strategies out there, but all of these things should be done through your revocable trust so that your family avoids probate after you pass away. So that's it for today. Business interest. If there's any other topics you'd like to hear about in the future, let us know. You can leave a comment below on other topics or things you'd like to hear about. If you want to set up your own estate plan, reach out to us at danalegalhelp.com. We're happy to help you create your own estate plan in Arizona and California. And you can even get started for free. You can go there, download the free will template. I made it super easy. You can get it done, less than 20 minutes for reals. Really easy. Grab a pen and paper, get your printer ready, and you can have an effective legal will done in less than 20 minutes. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next week.